The night sky above planet Aurelia 7 shimmered with silver clouds and twin moons. It was a quiet world, green jungles, blue rivers, and strange glowing flowers that sang in the wind. No human had ever stepped there. But tonight that was about to change. Far above the planet, a human starship screamed through the sky, flames bursting from its engines. Inside, alarms blared and red lights flashed. The pilot, Captain Aaron Vale, a young explorer from Earth, struggled to keep control. System failure. Power down, the computer voice shouted, but Aaron's hands were already shaking. He was alone. His ship had been hit by a meteor storm in deep space and drifted for days before crashing into Aurelia 7's atmosphere. The ship broke apart like burning glass. Aaron barely managed to pull the emergency lever before everything went black. When he opened his eyes, he was lying in a strange forest. The sky above him glowed violet and tall trees bent like spirals. He tried to move, but his leg was bleeding badly. His suit was torn. The smell of smoke filled the air. His ship was gone. Aaron took a slow breath. I'm alive. Somehow. He reached for his communicator. No signal. The stars looked unfamiliar. He was truly alone on an alien world. Then he heard footsteps, soft, almost musical. Something, or someone, was watching him. From behind a glowing fern, a figure stepped out. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered light blue and her hair floated like silver mist. Her eyes, large and bright, looked both curious and scared. Aaron froze. The creature pointed a glowing staff at him. Energy hummed at its tip. Don't move, she said in a soft but firm voice. Her language was strange, but somehow Aaron's translator chip caught the meaning. Aaron raised his hand slowly. I'm not your enemy. I'm just hurt. The alien girl tilted her head. She looked at his bleeding leg, then at his tired face. Something in her eyes softened. She lowered her staff and stepped closer. You are not from here, she said. No, Aaron whispered. My ship crashed. I need help. For a long second, she said nothing. Then, with surprising gentleness, she knelt beside him. She placed her glowing hand over his wound. A warm light spread and the pain began to fade. Aaron watched in shock as his leg slowly healed. What are you doing? He whispered. Healing, she said simply. My name is Lyra. As the night deepened, Lyra helped him stand. She was taller than he expected, graceful, and moved like light itself. She guided him through the forest toward a cave hidden under a waterfall. Inside, small crystals lit the walls like stars. Aaron sat down, still dazed. You saved my life, he said quietly. Lyra turned to look at him, her expression unreadable. I saved you because no one deserves to die alone, she said. But you must leave. Humans are forbidden here. Aaron frowned. Forbidden? Why? Lyra hesitated. Because your kind brings war. Her words struck him hard. He wanted to argue, but exhaustion won. He fell asleep listening to the soft sound of the waterfall. Outside, Lyra watched him. She had never seen a human before, only stories told by her people. They said humans were violent, greedy, dangerous. Yet this one seemed different, fragile, lost. His eyes carried pain but also courage. She whispered to herself, Why do I feel pity? Suddenly the night exploded with sound. A deep roar echoed through the valley. The ground trembled. Lyra's eyes widened. She looked toward the forest. Something was coming. Something big. A hunter beast, four-legged and armored like metal, broke through the trees. It had smelled the human blood. It was fast. Too fast. Lyra grabbed her staff and shouted, Wake up! Run! Aaron opened his eyes confused as the beast leapt into the cave. Lyra struck it with a burst of energy, but it barely slowed. Aaron tried to crawl away, but his leg was still weak. The monster lunged again, straight toward him. Without thinking, Lyra threw herself in front of him. Her staff shattered, the light exploded, and the cave shook. When the dust cleared, the beast was gone. Lyra lay on the ground, breathing hard. Aaron crawled to her side. You saved me, he whispered, voice shaking. She smiled weakly. Now we are even, human. Aaron looked into her glowing eyes, feeling something stir inside him. Gratitude, confusion, something more. He didn't know why this alien girl had risked her life for him, but he knew one thing. He could not leave her behind. Far away, thunder rolled across the mountains. Something else was watching them. Machines hidden in the dark sky, scanning the surface. And somewhere deep within Aurelia 7, a signal was sent to the Galactic Council. Human detected on Forbidden World. Immediate action required. When dawn came to Aurelia 7, the first light spilled across the forest like golden mist. The sky shimmered with two suns, and the waterfall outside Lyra's cave turned into a ribbon of fire and silver. Aaron woke up to the sound of birds that looked like glowing ribbons in the air. His leg was still sore, but it had mostly healed. He looked around the cave. The walls glittered with blue crystals, and the air smelled like rain. For a moment he thought he was dreaming. Then he saw her, Lyra, standing near the waterfall, her silver hair glowing in the morning light. She was holding a broken piece of her staff and staring at it, silent and tense. Aaron pushed himself up slowly. "You didn't sleep?" Lyra didn't look at him. "I couldn't. My people will sense the energy I used last night. They will know I broke the law." "The law?" Aaron frowned. "For saving me?" Lyra turned sharply, eyes full of pain. "Yes, contact with humans is forbidden. Healing one is treason." Aaron's heart sank. "Then why did you do it?" For a long second she said nothing. The wind whispered through the cave. Finally she said softly, "Because I saw fear in your eyes. The same fear I once had. When I was a child." Aaron didn't ask more. He saw something in her eyes. A memory that hurt to touch. Lyra moved toward the cave's back wall, pressing her palm against the stone. It glowed and opened like liquid glass, revealing a hidden path. "Come," she said. "We must move before they find us." Aaron followed, limping slightly. The tunnel led into a glowing underground forest. Strange plants floated in the air, giving soft light. The ground pulsed gently as if the whole world was alive. Aaron whispered, "This place is beautiful." Lyra glanced back. Beauty does not mean safety. Remember that. As they walked, Aaron began to notice something else, her hesitation. Every few minutes she'd stop and listen, as if hearing voices he couldn't. "Are they close?" he asked. Lyra's lips tightened. "Yes, the sentinels will come. They follow the energy of broken laws." He tried to smile. "You make it sound like magic police." She didn't smile back. "They don't arrest. They erase." The word sent a chill through him. After hours of walking, they reached an open chamber filled with floating blue crystals. Lyra placed her hands on one and whispered something. The crystal pulsed and a faint image appeared, an alien city floating among clouds. Aaron stared in awe. "Your world. It's beautiful." Lyra's eyes softened. It was until the humans came. He turned to her. "Humans were here before?" "Yes," she said quietly. "Long ago. They came with machines that poisoned the skies. They said they wanted peace, but they wanted control. When the war ended, millions died, ours and yours. The council made a law. No human shall ever step on an alien world again." Aaron lowered his gaze. "I didn't know." Lyra looked at him for a long time. "Maybe you didn't, but my people remember." For a while they stood in silence. Then Aaron said gently, "You still saved me. Even when you knew the risk." Lyra turned away. "Do not make it sound noble. I only followed my heart, not my duty." But her voice trembled, as if she didn't quite believe her own words. Suddenly the crystals flickered. A deep hum filled the air. Lyra gasped, "No! They found us!" From the tunnel behind them, blue light flared. 3 sentinel drones floated in, shining like steel ghosts. Their voices were mechanical, cold. "Unauthorized energy detected. Alien subject Lyra of the 7th clan. Surrender the human." Aaron's pulse spiked. "What do we do?" Lyra's eyes burned with panic, but then hardened into fire. "Run now!" She raised her hands, summoning the same light she used to heal him. The ground shook. Energy burst outward, blinding the drones. Aaron stumbled back as Lyra threw herself into the fight, beams of blue and gold flashing through the air. The sentinels fired back. One blast hit the crystal wall, shattering it into dust. Lyra screamed as another beam grazed her arm. Aaron ran to her. "Lyra, come on!" She fell against him, bleeding faint light. "The tunnel, go!" Together they staggered through a narrow opening. Behind them, the chamber collapsed. The noise faded until there was only silence and the sound of their heavy breaths. They emerged into a vast canyon lit by strange moons. Aaron gently lowered her onto a rock. Her skin dimmed, her glow weakening. "You're hurt," he said. She smiled faintly. "You humans always say that." He tore a piece of his jacket and pressed it to her wound. Then what do you say? She looked at him for a long moment. We say, nothing lasts forever. Aaron shook his head. Then I'll prove you wrong. Something in his voice made her heart ache. He was human, the kind her people feared, yet he was risking everything for her now. The irony burned inside her chest like a quiet fire. As the night settled, Aaron built a small fire with his broken suit's heat core. They sat close, silent, listening to the crackling light. Lyra finally spoke. You should not care for me, Aaron Vale. I am your enemy. He smiled softly. You saved my life twice. Doesn't feel like an enemy to me. She looked at him, confused, as if trying to understand a word that didn't exist in her language. Outside, in the shadows of the canyon, a drone lens blinked red. Watching, recording. The message it sent to orbit was clear. Subject Lyra alive. Human companion detected. Prepare extraction. The canyon stretched endlessly beneath a violet sky. Wind whispered through glowing vines that hung like ribbons of light. Every color in the air looked alive, breathing, moving, watching. Aaron followed Lyra carefully as they made their way through the narrow rocks. She walked slower now, her wound still glowing faintly from the fight with the sentinels. Are you sure we're safe here? Aaron asked, his voice echoing softly. Lyra shook her head. Safe, no, but unseen. Maybe. She led him through a crack in the stone. Behind it, the ground opened into a world unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. A vast forest where trees floated, roots glowing blue in midair, and rivers ran backward, flowing up toward the sky. Aaron stopped, stunned. This is impossible. Lyra smiled faintly. This place is called the Heart Forest. Even my people rarely enter it. It changes, it hides. The council cannot track us here. He looked at her. So we're invisible? Not invisible, she said quietly. Protected, but at a cost. They moved deeper into the forest. The air shimmered like warm glass. Strange creatures floated by, tiny glowing spheres with wings. One landed on Aaron's shoulder, humming like a bee. He laughed softly. It's not afraid of me. Lyra's eyes softened. It can sense kindness. These creatures only come near those who carry no hate. Aaron smiled at her, but she quickly looked away. Something in his eyes, that warmth, that human sincerity, made her chest tighten in a way she didn't understand. By nightfall, they reached a clearing filled with silver grass. Lyra touched a stone in the center, and a dome of light rose around them, a temporary shield. Aaron sat down, exhausted. You really have magic. It's not magic, she said, sitting beside him. It's energy, life itself. He looked up at the twin moons above. Back on Earth, we used to dream of meeting beings like you. We thought it would mean peace, maybe friendship. Lyra gave a quiet laugh. And yet you brought war. Aaron didn't answer. He just stared at the moons, regret in his eyes. After a while, Lyra glanced at him. Why did you come here, Aaron Vale? He took a deep breath. I was part of a peace expedition. Our ship was scanning uncharted systems. We weren't supposed to land anywhere, but the meteor storm hit. The others didn't make it. Lyra looked down. So you're alone? He nodded. Yeah, until you found me. Silence filled the air. The light of the shield flickered softly, reflecting in her blue eyes. Do you ever regret saving me? He asked suddenly. She turned her gaze toward the forest. Every moment. And none at all. Aaron smiled sadly. That's confusing. So is my heart, she whispered. Before either could say more, the ground trembled. The shield shimmered. Lyra's face went pale. They've entered the forest, she said. No one should be able to do that. Aaron jumped up. Who, the Sentinels? No, Lyra whispered. Worse, the Enforcers. They are not machines, they are living weapons. A cold wind rushed through the trees. Strange shadows moved within the glowing mist. Lyra grabbed Aaron's hand without thinking. We must move it now. They ran through the twisting forest. The trees seemed to shift, opening paths one moment and closing them the next. The ground changed color beneath their feet. Behind them, loud pulses of energy followed. Deep, rhythmic, deadly. Lyra stopped at a cliff where the forest met a floating lake of light. Jump, she shouted. Aaron stared at her in disbelief. You want me to... Before he could finish, she pushed him. They fell through the light. When Aaron opened his eyes again, they were standing in a glowing chamber deep beneath the lake. The walls were alive with golden symbols that moved like living words. Lyra looked around in awe. I didn't know this place still existed. Aaron turned to her. Where are we? She touched the nearest wall gently. The sanctuary of the first ones, the oldest beings in our galaxy. My ancestors built this before the Council ever ruled. He watched her face and the mix of wonder and sadness. Can it protect us? She nodded slowly. Yes, but it might cost me my connection to the light. Aaron frowned. What does that mean? It means I won't be able to heal again. I'll lose what makes me who I am. He stepped closer. Then don't do it. We'll find another way. Lyra looked into his eyes. If I don't, you'll die, and they will destroy my world to find you. Aaron's voice broke. Why do you care so much? Lyra hesitated. She could feel her pulse quicken. The truth rose inside her like fire. Because when I look at you, I don't see the enemy. I see someone who feels pain the same way I do. And maybe I see what my people lost long ago, compassion. Aaron's heart pounded. Lyra, but before he could speak, the wall shook. The enforcers had found the entrance. Lyra closed her eyes, lifted her hands, and whispered ancient words. The golden symbols exploded with light. The entire chamber began to rise, lifting them toward the sky. Aaron grabbed her arm. You'll burn yourself out. She smiled through the blinding light. Then let me burn bright enough for both of us. The lake above burst open with energy, sending a pillar of light into the clouds. From orbit, ships of the Galactic Council turned their scanners toward the explosion. Target located. Prepare containment unit. Inside the light, Lyra and Aaron disappeared, pulled into the unknown. Together, silence. Only the sound of slow dripping water echoed through the dark. Aaron opened his eyes, gasping. For a moment he thought he was still falling, the memory of light, heat, and Lyra's scream still burning in his mind. But now he was lying on cold stone. The air was damp, glowing faintly blue. Lyra, he whispered. No answer. He pushed himself up, his body aching. They were inside a huge ancient temple, pillars carved with strange symbols, walls glowing with golden veins. The air felt alive, like it carried whispers from 1,000 years ago. Then from the shadows he heard a soft groan. He turned. Lyra lay near a stone altar, her skin dim, her glow almost gone. Aaron rushed to her side. Lyra, wake up! Her eyes opened slowly, weak but alive. Aaron, you're safe. He took her hand. Thanks to you. What did you do back there? I used the last of my light, she said softly. The sanctuary answered my call and it brought us here. This temple, it is older than the council itself. Aaron looked around. The ceiling was so high he could barely see it, and in its center floated a faint golden orb, beating like a heart. What is that? He asked. Lyra looked up at it, eyes wide with both fear and awe. The core of origin. The first memory of creation. It holds the truth of all species. Even yours, Aaron frowned. Even humans? Yes, she said quietly. Our ancestors were not so different. The council hides this place because it remembers what they want forgotten, that our races were once connected. Aaron's heart pounded. Connected? How? Lyra rose slowly, her movements weak but graceful. Long ago, humans and Aurelian beings shared one world. We called it Solara. But greed and power broke the balance. When the war came, the council erased history and sealed the truth. They told us humans were destroyers. She touched the wall and a vision appeared. Glowing figures, both human and alien, building cities together under one sun. Then came fire, war, silence. Aaron stepped closer, his voice trembling. So, we were one, Lyra nodded. Yes, we were one. For a moment they just stood there, staring at the image of a world lost in light and fire. Aaron whispered, Maybe this is why I was brought here. To remember. Lyra turned to him, her eyes soft. Or to make me forget my fear. Suddenly the temple shook. A deep vibration ran through the ground. The golden orb flickered violently, Lyra's face hardened. They found us again, Aaron cursed under his breath. Can they reach us here? They shouldn't, she said. But the energy of the core might have called them. Before they could move, a deep mechanical voice echoed from the temple's entrance. Subject Lyra of the 7th clan, you have violated galactic law. Step forward and surrender the human. Aaron turned. 3 tall figures stepped out of the mist, the enforcers. They looked like living statues made of armor and shadow, eyes glowing red. Lyra moved in front of Aaron. Leave him. He is not your enemy. You broke the sacred code. You gave power to a human. You will be erased. Aaron grabbed her arm. Lyra, we have to run. She shook her head. No more running. Lyra stepped toward the core. Her voice echoed through the chamber. If I am to die, then let them see the truth. The core responded to her words. Light spread across the floor, wrapping around her and Aaron both. The enforcers raised their weapons, but the blast never reached them. The energy from the core pushed them back like waves against a wall. Aaron shielded his eyes. Lyra, what's happening? Her voice was full of fire. The core recognizes us, human and Aurelian, together. It remembers what the council erased. Visions filled the air again. Cities of both races, hands building side by side, laughter, then betrayal. The core pulsed faster, brighter, louder. Lyra fell to her knees. It's too strong. I can't hold it. Aaron caught her, pulling her close. Then don't. Let it show them everything. The light burst outward, hitting the enforcers. They froze, their armor cracking, red eyes flickering. For the first time, they hesitated. Confusion in their mechanical voices. Memory, conflict, unknown truth detected. The core's light filled the temple, shining through the cracks in the walls, reaching the surface above. From orbit, the Galactic Council's ships caught the signal, and for the first time in centuries, they saw the truth. The light faded. Silence returned. Lyra was lying in Aaron's arms, barely conscious. Her glow was gone, replaced by a soft, human-like warmth. Aaron brushed her hair from her face. You did it. You showed them. She smiled weakly. Maybe now, they will stop fearing what they don't understand. He squeezed her hand. You're going to be okay. She shook her head gently. My light is fading. Once it's gone, I won't live long. Aaron's throat tightened. No, I won't let that happen. Lyra looked at him, tears shining in her alien eyes. Aaron Vale, you humans always fight the impossible. He smiled faintly. Someone has to. From above, a soft sound filled the air, the hum of descending ships. The council had arrived. Aaron looked up, then down at her. We'll face them together. Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. Together. Even if the stars burn. As the light from the ships broke through the temple roof, Aaron wrapped his arms around her, shielding her from the dust and debris. The core glowed one last time, faint but alive, as if watching over them. And somewhere in that light, an ancient voice whispered through the air. The bond between hearts is older than law, older than fear. Remember. The temple trembled under the thunder of engines. Above the ruins, giant ships of the Galactic Council filled the sky, black triangles glowing with red light. Their shadows covered the land like an eclipse. Aaron stood at the temple's center, his arm wrapped around Lyra, who lay weak and pale. The core of origin still glowed faintly behind them, whispering in a language older than stars. He could hear the sound of soldiers landing outside, hundreds of them. Lyra's voice was faint. They're here for me, you must run. Aaron shook his head. Not again, I'm not leaving you. Her eyes glistened. You don't understand. If they find you, they'll destroy you. They'll erase everything. He brushed a strand of silver hair from her face. Then let them try. The temple gates burst open. Dozens of armored figures stepped inside, weapons raised. Behind them floated a tall, silver being, the High Arbiter of the Galactic Council. Its body shimmered like liquid glass, its eyes burning white. Human, the Arbiter said in a voice that echoed through the temple. You stand on forbidden ground. You have violated the first law. Aaron faced it, steady. I didn't come here by choice. My ship crashed, but I won't apologize for surviving. And for corrupting one of our kind? The Arbiter thundered. Lyra of the 7th clan gave her light to save you. That is treason. Lyra tried to speak, but Aaron squeezed her hand gently. She saved me because she still believes in life. Something you seem to have forgotten. A murmur ran through the guards. The human was speaking back. No one ever spoke back to the council. The Arbiter floated closer. Humans brought war and ruin once before. We sealed your kind for a reason. Aaron clenched his fists. Then you sealed away hope. You locked the truth inside this temple because you were afraid to admit we were once the same. The core behind them began to pulse, reacting to his words. The Arbiter's tone turned sharp. You speak lies. Aaron took a step forward. Then why does the core respond to me? Why does it show your soldiers our shared past? You hide behind laws, but you're just afraid of what we remind you. That your light came from humanity's flame. The temple grew brighter. The core pulsed faster, sending ripples of gold through the floor. The soldiers hesitated, unsure. The Arbiter raised a hand. Silence him. A blast of energy shot toward Aaron. Lyra gasped and pushed herself in front of him. The beam struck her side and she fell into his arms, her glow flickering like dying starlight. Lyra! Aaron shouted, his voice breaking. Her eyes fluttered. I told you to run! Aaron held her tighter, his anger burning hotter than fear. He turned toward the core, eyes full of tears. If you remember us, if you remember what we were, help me save her. The core answered. It began to spin, releasing a low, harmonic hum. The light spread across the floor, wrapping around Lyra's body like golden threads. The soldiers stepped back, shielding their eyes. The Arbiter raised its hand again. Stop! You will destroy the balance, Aaron shouted. No, you destroyed it long ago. The core's energy surged. The temple exploded in light, rising into the air like a giant beacon. The clouds parted. Across the planet, every living creature stopped and looked up. The light carried images into the sky, memories of humans and Aurelians working together, creating worlds side by side. Children of both races laughing, sharing, dreaming. Then the war. Then the lies. Every ship in orbit saw it. Every council member saw the truth. The Arbiter fell silent, frozen in disbelief. Impossible. The memory was erased. Lyra gasped as the light flowed through her. Her wounds began to heal. Her glow returned, but it was different now. Not blue, not alien. It was golden, warm, human and Aurelian mixed. Aaron stared at her in awe. Lyra, your light. She looked down at her hands. It's both of us. The core spoke, its voice ancient and calm. Two hearts from one origin. Two lights that once were whole. Balance returns when fear ends. The Arbiter stepped back. No, this cannot be. Aaron looked at it, his voice steady. You can't erase what we truly are anymore. The galaxy knows now. For a long moment there was silence. The soldiers lowered their weapons slowly, confusion and awe on their faces. The Arbiter's glow dimmed. You have broken the oldest law, human. But you have awakened something older still. Lyra stood beside Aaron now, her strength returning. She looked at the Arbiter. We didn't destroy your world. We reminded it what it means to care. The Arbiter's voice softened. And what will you do now? Aaron looked up at the light still pouring from the core. I'll go back to Earth, but not alone. The truth belongs to both our worlds. Lyra's eyes widened. If you return, they'll come for you again. Aaron smiled gently. Then let them. They can't erase what's already written in the stars. He reached out his hand. She hesitated only a moment before taking it. Their fingers intertwined, light meeting flesh. The core pulsed one last time, brighter than ever. The law may fall, the bond remains. The Arbiter turned toward its soldiers. Stand down. It looked back at Aaron and Lyra. Perhaps the council must learn again. As the ships pulled away and the temple fell quiet, Aaron and Lyra stood alone beneath the rising dawn. The war between species had ended, not with victory or defeat, but with a truth reborn. Lyra looked at the sky, tears glimmering in her golden eyes. Do you think they'll ever understand us? Aaron smiled softly. Maybe not today, but someday they will. He glanced at her hand in his. Until then, we'll show them. The storm had ended, but the sky of Aurelia 7 still shimmered with gold, a reminder of the truth that had changed everything. The core of origin no longer glowed. It now rested quietly, like a heart that had finally found peace. Aaron and Lyra stood outside the ruined temple. The air was calm, the twin suns rising together. But peace never lasted long in the galaxy. Lyra looked up. "They'll come again, Aaron. The Council won't forgive this so easily." Aaron smiled faintly. "Then we'll face them. Together." She turned to him, her golden eyes soft but worried. "Do you really plan to return to Earth?" He nodded. "The truth can't stay here. My people need to know. If we were once one race, maybe we can be again." Lyra hesitated. "Your world fears what it doesn't understand. If they see me—" He interrupted gently. "Then I'll make them understand." For a moment she stared at him, a human who had no weapon, no power, but spoke with a strength greater than both. Something deep in her chest warmed. "Very well," she said quietly. "Then we go together." They reached the crash site by nightfall. The forest around the broken starship was now calm. No beasts, no sentinels, only the soft hum of life returning. Aaron brushed off the dust from the ship's hull. "It's in bad shape, but maybe I can get one engine running." Lyra ran her hand over the metal. "Your machines feel cold. Our ships are alive, and they sing when you fly them." Aaron grinned. "Then I'll teach you how to fly a noisy human bucket." She smiled for the first time since the battle. "I'll hold you to that." Hours passed as they worked side by side. Sparks flew, circuits glowed, and the sound of metal echoed through the forest. Aaron's hands were covered in grease. Lyra's light flickered every time she focused, lending power to his tools. He looked up at her. "You don't have to help, you know." "I want to," she said softly. "If this ship carries you home, then it carries me too." He didn't know what to say. Her words filled the silence more beautifully than music. Finally, the ship rumbled to life. The engines glowed faintly blue, the air trembling with energy. Aaron smiled, exhausted but proud. "It's not perfect, but it'll fly." Lyra touched the hull gently, her hand glowing golden. "Then let the stars remember this day." They climbed aboard. The hatch closed, the engines roared, and the ship lifted through the jungle canopy, breaking into the open sky. Aurelia 7 grew smaller beneath them. For the first time, Lyra saw the stars from a human window. Her eyes widened. "So many." Aaron smiled. "And every one of them is watching us right now." They drifted through space, silent and endless. Aaron adjusted the course toward Earth, but Lyra was quiet. Her glow flickered, not from weakness, but from thought. "What are you thinking?" he asked gently. She turned to him. "Your people will not believe us easily. The Council will send others to stop you. Some may already be following." He nodded slowly. "Then we'll tell the truth before they can stop us." She studied his face and the determination, the scars, the eyes that never gave up. "You remind me of the ancient stories," she whispered. "Of the first light-bearers who stood against the void." Aaron smiled softly. "Then I guess history repeats itself." Suddenly, alarms screamed through the cockpit. "Unidentified signal approaching." The computer warned. Aaron's heart jumped. "Council ships?" Lyra focused, eyes glowing. "No, not Council. Something else?" Before he could respond, a massive shadow appeared outside the window. A dark ship, blacker than the void, moving without sound. Its symbol glowed crimson. Lyra's face went pale. "No, it's the Purifiers," Aaron frowned. "Who are they?" "They're not the Council," she said. "They're worse. They believe the galaxy must stay divided. They destroy any world that mixes blood or truth." The ship locked onto them. Aaron gripped the controls. "Then we run." He pushed the throttle. The small ship spun sharply, diving through a field of meteors. Beams of red light fired behind them, cutting through stone. Lyra raised her hands, channeling light to the ship's shields. The hull trembled. "I can hold them for a while." Aaron shouted over the alarms, "You'll burn out again!" She smiled faintly, sweat glistening on her blue skin. "Then let me burn bright." The chase ripped through the asteroid field. One blast struck the wing, spinning the ship violently. Aaron fought to regain control, his breath ragged. "Hang on!" he yelled. They burst out of the field, straight into open space where the blue glow of Earth shone in the distance. Lyra stared, tears forming in her eyes. "That's your home." Aaron nodded, jaw tight. And we're bringing the truth to it, no matter what it costs. Behind them, the purifier ship roared closer. Lyra closed her eyes, placing her hands on the control panel. Golden light flowed from her palms into the ship, merging with its systems. The engines glowed brighter, louder, faster. "Aaron," she whispered, "if this works, you must promise me something." He looked at her, heart pounding. "Anything. If I don't make it, don't let them forget who we were." He grabbed her hand. "You're not dying again, Lyra. Not while I'm still breathing." She smiled softly, her glow surrounding him like warmth. "Then let's make history one more time." The ship surged forward, engines screaming. A golden trail burned behind them like a comet. The purifiers fired, but the beam split apart in the light. Aaron shouted, "We're breaking through." The earth grew larger, filling the window. Lyra leaned weakly against him, whispering, "Home, yours and mine." And then, the light swallowed them whole. The purifier ship was left behind, drifting in silence, unable to follow. Silence. A soft hum. And then, breath. Aaron gasped as his eyes opened to blinding white light. For a moment he thought he was dead. The stars were gone. The ship was gone. But as his vision cleared, he saw blue skies above him. Not alien skies, but Earth's. He was lying in a field of golden grass. Wind moved gently through it, carrying the scent of rain. Far away, mountains shimmered under sunlight. Earth. Home. He sat up suddenly, heart racing. "Lyra?" No answer. He stumbled to his feet, scanning the field. His ship lay broken behind him, smoke rising softly. The sky was clear, no council ships, no purifiers. Just silence. Then he saw her. Lyra stood by a lake nearby, her silver hair moving in the wind. Her glow was gone now, replaced by soft golden light beneath her skin. Faint. Human-like. Aaron ran to her. "Lyra, you're alive!" She turned, smiling gently. "I told you I'd see your world." He stopped in front of her, breath trembling. You changed." She looked at her reflection in the water. The core's light fused with the ship. "It changed me. Made me something in between." Aaron's voice softened. "Half human?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Half Aurelian. I am neither and both," he smiled faintly. "Then maybe that's what the galaxy needs, something between." They sat beside the lake. Birds sang in the trees, the air filled with life. For the first time in forever, there was peace. Aaron looked at the sky. "We made it. Against everything, we made it." Lyra smiled softly. "And now what will you do?" He thought for a moment. "I'll tell them the truth. About Aurelia. About you. About what we once were." Her expression turned sad. "They won't listen easily. Fear runs deep." He looked at her. "Then I'll speak louder." For days they walked across green fields, through abandoned roads and quiet cities, until they reached a small research outpost near the coast. It was night when Aaron approached the doors. The guards froze when they saw him. The man thought lost in deep space, standing alive with a glowing alien girl beside him. "I need to speak to command," he said. "I have proof of our true past." They hesitated, then called it in. Within hours, a swarm of lights filled the sky, ships, drones, scientists, soldiers. Cameras pointed at them. Lyra stood beside Aaron calmly, her eyes bright under the lights. A voice echoed through the speakers. "Captain Aaron Vale, you were declared missing 5 cycles ago." "And the alien." "Identify her." Aaron stepped forward. "Her name is Lyra of Aurelia 7. She's the reason I'm alive. And she's the reason humanity needs to change," the crowd murmured. Someone shouted, "That's impossible. Humans can't survive there." Aaron's voice rose. "We didn't just survive. We found the truth. Our ancestors and hers, and they were one. The council hid it. They feared it. But now we have proof." He looked at Lyra, and she nodded. Slowly she raised her hands. Golden light flowed from her palms, forming images in the air, the visions from the core. The crowd gasped as they saw it. Humans and Aurelians together, building cities of light, sharing a world before war tore them apart. The images faded. Silence followed. Then a scientist whispered, "It's true." Another voice said, "If they were once one, then she's our kin." Lyra turned to Aaron. "They believe?" He smiled. "They're starting to." But suddenly the ground shook. A dark shadow fell across the sky. Aaron looked up. His heart sank. A massive ship appeared above the clouds, a council vessel. Lyra's eyes widened. They've come for us. The ship hovered silently. No weapons fired. A beam of blue light shone down, forming a circle around them. A familiar voice echoed. The High Arbiter. Human, Aurelian. The Council demands the core's energy. Surrender, and your world will be spared. Aaron looked at Lyra. If we give them the core, they'll erase everything we showed them. Lyra took a deep breath. Then we give them something else. She stepped into the beam of light. Lyra. Aaron reached for her, but she shook her head gently. I was born of light, Aaron. I can return it. Maybe then they'll finally see. He moved closer, desperate. You don't have to do this. She smiled. Calm, beautiful, final. I have to. Because love isn't just about holding on. It's about freeing the darkness that others can't. Her glow began to rise, brighter and brighter. The Arbiter's voice faltered. What are you? Lyra's light burst upward, pure, golden, endless. It spread through the clouds, across the ships, across the planet, and then into the stars. Every world in the Council's reach saw it. A light that carried not destruction, but truth. A voice that whispered through the void. We were never different. We were never enemies. We are one. When the light faded, the ship was gone. The beam vanished. The sky was clear again. Aaron fell to his knees, eyes full of tears. Lyra. Her voice lingered in the air, soft as the wind. The stars remember us now, Aaron. Don't let them forget. He pressed his hand to the ground where she had stood. The grass glowed faintly golden beneath his fingers. Above him, the night sky came alive, every star shining brighter than before. And in that light he saw her face, smiling, peaceful, eternal. Years later, the world changed. The story of Lyra and Aaron spread through the galaxy, the human who defied the Council, and the alien who gave her life for peace. Monuments were built, not for war, but for memory. Humans and Aurelians began to meet again, and every night when people looked at the stars, they saw a golden light crossing the heavens, the same light that once joined two hearts. Aaron stood on a balcony, older now, gazing at the sky. He whispered, You kept your promise, Lyra. The stars remember. He smiled through tears, and so will I.